Every time I think, why am I doing this? I'm broke. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. And when it gets right at the difficult moments where you think you just can't take it anymore, that's when the breakthrough comes.
I'd been doing all these things and I already knew what I wanted to be doing. I just wasn't actually doing it. It is fear. You don't realize it's fear until you're on the other side of it.
You are courageous because you're doing the things you're afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you know you can do, you don't have to be courageous to do.
Yeah. Welcome to Wired, Stories of Impactful Women podcast, where we spotlight bold, brilliant women shaping the future of commercial real estate, business, leadership, and beyond.
I'm Kimberly Downs.
And I'm Heather Luce. We're the voices behind Wired, that's women in real estate development, and your host for honest, empowering conversations that go way beyond buildings.
Every other Wednesday, we sit down with women of influence, entrepreneurs, innovators, and change makers to share their stories, insights, and the unfiltered truth behind their success.
So whether you're building a business, growing in your career, or carving your own path, you'll find connection, mentorship, and real-world tools right here.
This is Wired, Stories of Impactful Women podcast.
Hello, and welcome back to the Wired Stories of Impactful Women podcast. Today we have Kesi Milligan, my friend, and another Wired member. Kesi, we are so glad you're here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This is also exciting because you're our first nominated guest. So Susan Scott, our friend and Wired member, nominated you and thought that it would be great to have you on here, and I couldn't agree more. So thanks for being here. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do.
So my name is Kesi Milligan. I'm a commercial real estate broker at Select Sites LLC here in Kansas City. And I have a background in urban development, neighborhoods, and residential real estate, but now I'm a commercial broker.
Yeah, you started your career in radio too, right?
I did. Back in 1999, I interned at Carter Broadcast Group. And then one day, one of the radio announcers didn't come in for the shift, and I was forced in front of a microphone and
talk about getting it done. That's awesome. I guess this is what we're doing now. No, that's awesome. Well, you've been licensed for quite a while. How did you go? You started in residential, right? And then now you're a commercial agent. So how did that career path happen?
So I've had a license in real estate since 2004. And here, not so many years ago, I went back to school for urban studies with an emphasis on community development and housing. My adjunct professor at that time was Ruben Lonzo. He's the CEO of AllCap. So after graduating in 2019, December, I was looking for employment, and Ruben put a post out on LinkedIn. They were hiring for a business development officer. I applied. He said, "You'll be great." But then in that role, doing small business loans, I realized there were so many minorities coming through getting capital to build out a commercial space, buy commercial real estate, or invest. But I really wasn't sure, who they were using for an agent. Come to find out, most of them were not using a broker to help them find the location for their business. Fast forward, went to a realtor symposium put on by UMB Bank. And one of the speakers mentioned that a lot of the small incremental developers were not getting the capital they needed to move into commercial because their portfolios were full of residential. So fast forward, I thought, you know what? I need to be a commercial real estate broker so I can help all these people. And here I am.
Yeah, awesome. So backing up real quick. So AllCap, I love this organization. So can you tell us a little bit for people that don't know who they are, what you did there, and kind of the whole premise behind that?
Absolutely. So AllCap is a CDFI, that's a commercial development financial institution. And what their role is they are put in position to get capital out into disinvested communities, maybe startups, maybe you started your business and you're in that 0 to 3 year life cycle, and you need capital and you can't find it anywhere else because a bank typically will not look at you in that 0 to 3 years.
Sense,
yeah, in a traditional sense. And so we were able to help a lot of people, and they're still doing great work. I keep in communication with them. But yeah, small business loans all the way up to $350,000. man, I've helped so many people, and I'm glad they exist because it's needed.
Yeah, it's helping underserved business owners, underprivileged business owners, right? And helping them climb the ladder just like anybody else. So I think we originally met when you worked at Alt Cab, maybe. I was trying really hard to think about this, and I have a bad track record of remembering how I know people. But I think that you were in that role, and then we started to see each other around ULI, then started to see each other around Wired. So it's been fun to see you kind of evolve all these years, but I've always been a fan of that organization. So I love that you're a part of it. So let's talk about, you worked at AltCap, they hired you. You basically recognize that these business owners that are getting the funding and doing the deals, getting the projects done, didn't have representation in options of having, like a broker to help them throughout it. So they're forced to kind of do it on their own, right?
Right.
So what was that like seeing that? And then also what drove you to say, I feel like I could help them,
First of all, when I heard that a lot of small incremental developers cannot get additional capital to do more residential projects because their portfolios were too risk averse. And they needed more commercial in their portfolios in order to get higher lump sums or higher dollar amounts of capital. So I thought, who would I refer an individual to for assistance with commercial that is culturally sound? So what I mean by that, I saw a lot of minorities, Black and brown individuals coming in, business owners looking for capital. There aren't a lot of Black and brown commercial real estate brokers that I could have referred them to.
No, there's not a lot of women. There's definitely not a lot of people of color.
Definitely
that's
not
for
a
sure.
lot of women. Yay, Wired. And so,
amen.
And so I said, you know what? If I can't think of someone to refer them to, then I need to take on the challenge. And so from that point on, I sought out one of the persons that I thought could give me the best advice. And that was Cheryl Vickers. And so after speaking with her, having the opportunity to talk to her briefly about it, she gave me some sound advice, right? She said, hey, if you're in residential, you probably want to exit that scenario and get with a commercial outfit and then find you a mentor. And so I reached out to Susan Scott after forming my own commercial real estate brokerage, and it's history.
Yeah.
There you are.
You knew Susan, though, from years before, right?
Yes. Long story short, 2004, when I got my license, maybe about a year into that, I ran into some folks that wanted to get another retail space for their business. And I was referred to Susan back in 2005. And I just never thought that I would be reaching out to her almost 20 years later.
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
The way the circle comes back around.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but again, it just goes to show like who you know and who you're connected to, and just keeping those connections, because you never know when that person will be so influential and become your mentor.
I know, right? I was like, Susan, please help me. She's like, sure.
Yeah, she's awesome. So I believe it.
I love Susan. Back when I was working or asked Susan to work with me, she was with Greg Patterson and Associates. They had a lot of the urban core market sold up as far as commercial real estate was concerned. And so I thought she would be the best person that could assist me in being culturally sound, because she did a lot of urban core work. And come to find out, we know a lot of the same people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not that big of a city.
No,
that's for
and
sure. Yeah, I've always known her, even before we became friends. Like, I've always known her as a Midtown, like she works the Midtown urban core area. And it's cool to know that she's been around for so long to see not only the changes, but also people come and go in that industry. And she's always been an advocate for getting more women, more representation of all kinds, just to, that's just how it should be. So
a lot of representation especially for small entrepreneurs coming up. She loves to support. That's my background in neighborhoods. I do a lot of the ground up advocacy work for policy change. And so I just love Susan. And I'm grateful to be at Select Sites because Cheryl Vickers is awesome too.
Yeah, it's fun that you guys get to work together all the time. I always think that office would be so fun to work in because all my people are over there.
You know what? We try to work when we're in the office, but it's a lot. Sometimes it's too much fun.
Sure. It's awesome.
So Heather and I talked a little bit before you got here, and we were talking about one of the things that I've struggled in my own business is I'm not very money motivated. Mm-hmm. And she mentioned that when you guys were talking about coming here, that being rich isn't the motivating factor for you. So I know some of the issues that I've had trying to make sure that my thought process is right. But how do you stay motivated then if that's not your motivation?
Well, I just understand how, challenging it can be, for one, to be a small business owner, number one, to be a person of color, number two, and then from my standpoint, to be a woman. Mm-hmm. And so I feel that there's never enough advocates for people that run into challenges that, I hate to say it, that are kind of systemic challenges. And I believe that somebody's got to do it. If not me, who? Mm-hmm. And you can't let money be the driving factor if you want to actually make a difference. Mm-hmm. And so I pride myself in focusing on being a change maker. And if I'm chasing a carrot, then I don't think I will accomplish that, because I will only be giving just a portion of myself to that individual that needs my help. And I like to go beyond just the transaction, right? An entrepreneur needs more than just a space. They need entrepreneurial support organizations that they can go to for mentorship or opportunities to market their business or get accounting advice. So I'm just about the whole person, the whole entrepreneur, and not just the fact that they need a space.
Right. So you're clearly pouring into other people all day long, all the time. What do you do to pour into yourself?
I love movies. I love watching movies. And so if I could just watch movies all day, I would. Or play music. But I'm taking up roller skating now.
Ooh, there you go.
That's fun.
I know. So I recently had a birthday in August, and nobody would go with me, but I went roller skating. And so that's my new thing. I was telling Heather, preparing for this podcast, that I love doing things that are challenging. Mm-hmm. If it's easy, I don't want it.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
So how's roller skating going?
Girl, when I videotaped myself doing it, I noticed how I was like breathing, I was out of breath. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a workout.
It is a workout. Oh my gosh.
We go to roller derby. Have you ever been to roller derby?
But I remember you telling me that. But that is so exciting though.
Awesome. It is so cool. Those women are very badass. It is really cool to watch them not only play the sport competitively and aggressively the way they do, but on wheels.
With shoulder pads.
In quick circles.
Oh, man.
It's fun. You gotta go. You definitely gotta go.
Yeah, I'm not brave enough to do that.
No. Just watch it.
One step at a time. When roller skating becomes too easy for you,
then you'll become
the next challenge.
I'm going to go. And I'm going to go with Heather.
Yeah, you should. We should. Yeah, that sounds fun.
So one of the questions that we've asked a lot of women that have come into our podcast is, one of the things that we've seen is they'll start somewhere and that gets them started, and they go somewhere else and then they go somewhere else. So as you have pivoted from one industry to another, I know they're all connected in one way or another. Mm-hmm. What is one of the biggest challenges as you had to make those pivots in your own life?
Well, I think relationship management, I think, was really one of the main things that I realized that I was not as good at as I could have been. I've worked in some great places, done some great things with some great people, but you have to reach back out. When you transition, I've transitioned several times. You have to reach back out and then find that middle ground where you can still reconnect. And I've been blessed to have the capability of doing that. And I always bring my past experiences with me, right? When you have to present your whole person, right? Everything we've gone through in our lives, I'm sure we'd love to leave some behind and take only the good, but you have to take all experiences, move them on to the next challenge, use those as opportunities to grow and learn. And, but yeah, so right now I'm starting to reach back out. I had a 11-year career with Aflac. And see, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
another episode.
I opened, I don't know how many, worked with countless entrepreneurs and business owners. And so just going back and saying, hey, how you guys been? I'm doing something new. So I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm blessed.
That's awesome. That's amazing. That's just, I think even now as I get older, I think I think to myself, I'm like, I'm constantly seeing things that women are doing. And they're like, somebody will say, hey, I turned 55 and I started a new career. Yeah. But we also, I think in today's world, so many times we think, oh, it's too late, or, and hearing, the changes that you've made. And yes, you said they each kind of were stepping stones. They brought you somewhere else, but you still were able to make that change and start fresh somewhere and start a new, adventure.
Well, it's scary, I would say, but I get bored easily, right? But a good friend of mine, Terrell Jolly, he told me to stay.
TJ.
TJ.
Gotten good advice from that guy.
He told me, and every time I think, why am I doing this? I'm broke. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. Why did I even make this change? And I want to go, I'll just go get a job. Forget it. And then TJ, I could hear him, him and my mother, stay, just stay. And when it gets right at the difficult moments where you think you just can't take it anymore, that's when the breakthrough comes.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So I feel, when they say it takes 3 years to kind of break into this business, you got to have some staying power. And you've got to really want to make a difference in somebody's life, especially if you're going to go with very limited financial resources for quite a long time. So that keeps me motivated, just knowing that if I stay long enough, I'm going to change some lives. And so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle, isn't it? Like as you're trying to build and just stay in the course and just trusting the process is going to work out. So you kind of talked a little bit about it, but what keeps your cup full? Like, what do you do for fun? You said you obviously roller skate. You play music, like you play musical instruments, or you listen to music? Like, what do you mean?
I played a flute coming up, but I mostly listen to music. I like DJing for myself. So I have like little mini parties at home, and then my son, and then we lip sync. And so, and I would probably be really embarrassed if I told people what relaxes me is cleaning. So don't let.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. As long as it's not like super unhealthy cleaning where you're obsessed. It's a good. That's a good thing.
And I clean, and then everybody in the house, that's when they disappear because they don't want me to ask them to start cleaning.
Join your party, your weird party.
We're going to be asked to join this clean party. I'm out.
In preschool, or I've worked with some young kids and they have that cleanup song.
Yeah.
It's time to clean up. And they're like, no.
Yeah, don't even sing it. Don't even hum it.
But no, I'm highly active in church. I do volunteer work with Blue Hills Neighborhood Association. Cool. I still work with UMKC with Dr. Jacob Wagner and Centers for Neighborhoods. So I'm very active in the community. Have a youth group that I work with during the summertime. I mean, I'm all over the place, probably a little too much, but I get bored way too easily.
Yeah, no, it's good. And it seems like you're filling your time with very positive things that, helps other people too. So I love that. Do you have any advice that you would give to women looking to either grow their commercial real estate career or just any entrepreneurial venture they have?
Yeah, well, don't overeducate yourself or think you don't have enough. And it took me going through all of that to realize, I was using education or thinking I needed more education as a crutch to not start or not to transition or not to go to the next level. Fear, I've been really struggling with fear. I struggle with the imposter scenario, thinking that, they're going to think you're stupid. Like nobody looks like you. All if it was negative, my brain was telling, singing that song to me. And so sometimes when you hear that, just know that something good is on the other side, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes our body is trying to protect us, but we don't need protection, but our brain thinks it needs to jump in. I would just say, let fear be your North Star is weird, because once fear starts to set in, that means you're closer, right? You're getting closer to what you're trying to accomplish, and never be afraid of success. And I think that has kind of held me back a little bit. A fear of success, thinking, oh man, if I do good at this, people really gonna expect me to be responsible. Or, sometimes I just like to go off on my own. But I think let fear guide you and let that be an indication that you're getting closer to what you told yourself your real goal is. Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid. And then if you are, reach out to some folks to encourage you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you mentioned TJ. He actually gave me some advice on that topic. He's so generous with his time, and I had seen him around, and we had so many mutual friends that respected him. And finally, my commercial banker said, "You know who you sound like?" Whenever I was talking about kind of my goals and my dreams, and she said Terrell Jolly, and I was like, "Why does everybody keep telling me about this guy? Like, what is this?" So I had lunch with him, and he just listened to me for a while, and finally, he's like, you need to stop going to all these trainings and all these programs and just do it. You already know what you're doing. Just do it. And I was like, but I'm signed up for, I have another one that starts next week. And I realized because I had been doing small developers of Kansas City, incremental developers, small scale developer forum, ULI, the Urban Land Institute stuff. And I had been doing all these things and I already knew what I wanted to be doing. I just wasn't actually doing it. And so it took him, an outside person who I really respected and looked up to be like, "Okay, you have enough training. Go do it now," And then you always hear at Wired, they're always talking about owning the fact that I'm not a aspiring developer. I'm a developer. Yeah. I do this. I am an investor, not I want to be an investor. And so just really holding the mirror up and saying okay, I am actually doing it. I need to own it. And so that resonates with me, the whole don't over-educate yourself, because I think that it is fear. You don't realize it's fear until you're on the other side of it. But it is just okay, well, I've already done this. I've built this for me. I've built this brokerage. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Yes. I know what I want my next phase of my career to be. I know how to do it. So just do it, And it took somebody, an outside person that I see as a mentor, to really tell me to do that or give myself permission, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. But it is leaning into our own, again, as women, we talk about this a lot. We all have intuition, right? That's the superpower. Just leaning into what we know is the right thing to do. And if we don't, Kim, you've said this before, if we don't think that we know how to do it or how to do it, we have people around us that do. And so leaning into those people as well. So I think that's really good advice to just dive in, you know?
And that's what Wired provides, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's the whole premise of Wired, right? And so I applaud Audrey and Cheryl for creating that organization, because when Susan invited me, it was like, "Oh my God, you got to join this thing. Oh my God, it's great. You got to come." I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. But when I showed up to the first event, it was like, "Come on in."
Yeah.
And it was so much knowledge in the room. And just to see so many women come together, because a lot of times, a lot of women can be a little, but when you understand that that's all left at the door, it's all about love and supporting and uplifting and empowering women to let them know that, hey, if you see a man can do it, you definitely can do it, and more than likely, probably a little bit better.
Right.
But having all the resources in one organization, that if I needed anything, I know I could just reach out to that organization, to the group of women, and say, hey, can you help me out with this? And because you are a Wired member, they're like, sure, come on. It's like a sorority, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely, people are so generous with their time and their knowledge in there too. And when I think about Wired, I think it's so wild that people who I have known and respected in my career coming up, like that I consider mentors, whether they know it or not, or I've actually met them or not, are now my friends, which makes them even more my mentor. But also I just know this personal side of them as well. And so it's really an incredible thing. And it's helped me grow so much in my career and really know where I want my path to go. So, and we get to do cool stuff like this. So I'm grateful for it.
What about you, Kim? How does Wired?
So I was that person that Heather, was like, you need to come. And I'm like,
it's not for me.
It's not really for me. And I'm like, well, and not realizing that I said something about, well, I don't really own any commercial real estate. She was like, don't you own the building that your mortgage company runs from? And I was like, oh yeah, I do.
I think you qualify.
Yeah. I was like, so I came probably a year ago and then just recently joined. Just timing a year ago was kind of off, and then finally was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and for the same thing, one of the reasons I love Wired and just networking with women in general is just that tribe. And kind of like you said, I loved your authenticity. So I appreciate that about just talking about, I think a lot of us, we see social media, whether we're listening to podcasts or we're just scrolling through, and we see women from day to day, and we don't always see that side where they're like, I have a day where I'm afraid, or I don't take that next step because of fear, or I woke up this morning and the imposter was on my shoulder and I listened to it all day long and I just couldn't get where I needed to be. That's real, And so being able to relate with other women and say, man, that was me today. And they kind of look at you and go, oh, I didn't know that you think that ever. Or it's them being able to realize that person has those days and they're still where they are because they had courage, which I always told my kids growing up. You are courageous because you're doing the things you're afraid of. You're not courageous because you can do them. You're doing things that you were afraid of. The things that you can do, you don't have to be courageous to do. Yeah. So I think I appreciate that authenticity, because every time women they feel like they can be authentic and say, wow, today sucked, or
it's a vulnerability.
I didn't want to get up this morning. I didn't want to do my job, because I felt like, oh my goodness, can I even make it through today because of X, Y, and Z, that we all have those days. So I think Wired, other women groups that I'm a part of, and just the women that I, invest in me. I think it's just that, having the people that say, yep, get up, you can do it, or, okay, don't do it today. Spend all day taking care of yourself, and at the new pool spa thing that I love.
we recently went to Clay Sanctuary and down in the West Bottoms, and they have a bathhouse spa where you can pay there's a float, there's a steam sauna, a dry sauna, a float pool, hot tub, cold plunge. Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And my favorite was the salt shower.
And the salt shower.
Scrub your skin with Himalayan salt.
Yeah. But it's good. And it's good self-care to go there and to just turn it off for a second and spoil yourself for a second and enjoy it. There's a beautiful tea room attached to it, coffee shop tea room. Oh man, it's stunning. And everybody that works there was great. So highly recommend.
Treat yourself, because you never know when you're going to get it from somebody.
Yeah, for sure. And we work so hard. We deserve that, my thing when I leave the Wired events or really hanging out with any Wired women, I feel so energized and so just confident and like I could take on the world. And it hasn't gone away the entire time I've been here and been a part of it. So, is there anything fun coming up that you want to promote or you're looking forward to in your life? Or
I'm looking forward to Christmas.
Yeah, holiday season.
I love Christmas. I think what I love about Christmas is not the fact that it is Christmas. I think what I like is that everybody is just extremely nice to each other. I mean, it's always like we all have a mission to be extremely kind, extremely thoughtful of others. And I think I love that part of the year. So I'm excited for Christmas.
Good. You're skipping right over Halloween and fall, but okay.
Because I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah, I am too.
I was thinking about haunted house this year. Oh, did you know that the Beast is one of the oldest, if not the oldest haunted house
Really?
in the United States?
I didn't know that.
In Kansas City.
That's cool. And we have there's so many down there now. Isn't there
Yes.
5 of them or something?
I don't know because
we're not going to catch you there.
going to a haunted house. Oh,
Do courageous things, Kim.
no.
Not that one.
Not that one. Want me to open up some other business? Absolutely. But I will not go to the haunted house.
I might take my son this year because he's 13. He just turned 13. And he thinks he's cool. And I want to show him that
Show
you're
him
not.
some.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wrap things up a little bit, one takeaway, if for the women out there listening that want to start a business, whether it's getting into real estate, buying a building, or being a part of that, what would you tell them?
Everybody was born with a gift and gifts and talents, and we need what you have to give. So put it out there.
That's great.
That's
We need
amazing.
you.
I like that.
That's awesome. Wow. I love it.
Kesi, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. I love to know you.
Hercules.
That's awesome. Well, just a couple upcoming things. You guys catch us at our Wired monthly coffee meetups. Those are usually on the first Fridays, or the monthly happy hours. And they usually feature a recent Wired development or a member. Those are, I believe right now, those are the third Wednesday of the month. So our next one is a good one. I'm looking forward to it. You can always check out the website, wiredkc.net, or our social media for details. Kesi, you were nominated by the wonderful Susan Scott. So if anybody knows a member or a woman that's attached to Wired that should be featured on our podcast, let us know. Or if you have interest yourself, just let us know. We'd love to have people. So
Thank you.
thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Wired Stories of Impactful Women podcast.
We hope you left today with something useful, something you can act on, share, or carry forward.
Subscribe to the show so you don't miss out on what's next. If this conversation matters to you, chances are it will matter to someone else.
And be sure to check out our upcoming Wired events. And if you have a member who you think should be featured on the podcast, or if you have interest yourself, reach out. We'd love to have you as a guest.
We'll catch you soon right here on Wired.